I'm Anna Garcia, right now on True Crime News. The mystery of the missing luxury realtor, Suzanne Simpson.
Hi, I'm Suzanne.
We will not stop until we find her.
The race to find the mom of four, her real estate mogul husband of 22 years, now under arrest.
She told me the things that Brad had done to her physically.
The couple's fight at a country club before she vanished, and could her husband's text messages solve the mystery? Then Russell Neal, a boy band heartthrob famous for hits like I Like the Way. His wife, a Texas beauty on her way to becoming a top model.
She used to brag about him at first. Oh, he got all this money.
But their relationship would end in cold-blooded murder.
She was beaten and stabbed.
It was overkill.
The unbelievable twist that could get her killer off the hook, and the eerie case of deadly deja vu.
I can't believe this has happened again in the same family.
Your source for true crime starts right now. Thanks for joining us. We begin today with a search for Suzanne Simpson. The mother of four has been missing for weeks, and authorities now fear the worst. And all eyes are on her husband, who has not cooperated with investigators since day one. It's a frantic race against the clock, and time is running out to find missing mother of four, Suzanne Simpson.
We don't know where she is. We don't know if she's somewhere hiding away.
Over the past weeks, investigators have conducted multiple large-scale search efforts in wooded areas around Almas Park, sifting through thousands of pounds of garbage in a landfill.
Many people came out to help us search for her, and still, we haven't found her.
Hi, I'm Suzanne.
Suzanne Simpson seemed to have everything going for her. A successful luxury realtor living in the Tony neighborhood of Alamos Park in San Antonio, Texas, with four beautiful children and a real estate tycoon husband, Brad Simpson.
I've been in real estate for 13 years.
That's why it was so puzzling when Suzanne failed to pick up their 5-year-old daughter, Charlie, from school on October 7th. When administrators notified Brad, he contacted police, who launched an immediate search.
We move as far out as we can, as fast as we can, to try to locate the person as soon as possible.
Her last cell phone ping was at 7:15 a.m., 9 hours after she was last seen. The desperate search for Suzanne spread from the woods near her home to an East San Antonio landfill to an area off Interstate 10, 30 miles away. But after 4 days in the hot San Antonio sun, no trace of Suzanne. True Crime News affiliate News 4 San Antonio reporter Marisa Mendoza has been covering every detail.
We know that they looked at the wooded area. They searched the Simpson home with a search warrant. They searched multiple properties that the Simpsons owned, but they would not say specifically what they had, which led them to the Bexar County landfill on the southeast side.
As police dig deeper, a clearer picture is emerging that could place Suzanne's husband, Brad Simpson, squarely in the spotlight. The night before she disappeared, witnesses saw the couple fighting at a country club dinner. This photo, taken from surveillance video, is the last picture of Suzanne alive.
It got physical, and there was an altercation.
Later that same night, Suzanne called her mother.
When she got back, she called me up and told me the things that Brad had done to her physically. I hope someday I'll be able to understand the situation.
Barbara Clark says Suzanne told her Brad injured her arm and back. It was the last time she ever spoke with her daughter. She doesn't believe Suzanne is still alive.
I came up with an alternative plan for her and I hoped that she'd move in with me. I never got to tell her the plan.
Then, even more damning pieces come together after a neighbor tells police he witnessed the Simpsons in a physical fight when they returned home that night, saying he saw Brad grab Suzanne by the torso and try to push her down on the ground.
We asked him, why didn't you call the police that night if you heard screams? And he had said, we just don't do those things here. When Suzanne was reported missing Monday night, that's when investigators started talking to neighbors.
But the cops had another eyewitness, the couple's youngest daughter, Charlie.
Their 5-year-old told a school official that she had witnessed her mom and dad in a fight and that she saw her dad push her mom into a wall and that her dad took her mom's phone away.
But when police attempt to question Brad about the witness allegations, he becomes uncooperative, refusing to show up for an interview. Then, on October 9th,
the early morning hours, about 1:30 a.m., we arrested Mr. Simpson.
just 36 hours after reporting Suzanne missing, police arrest Brad Simpson for assault and unlawful restraint, enough to hold him as they continue to search for Suzanne.
Family members told police that Brad had a collection of guns located in a room inside the Simpsons' home. They found a short-barreled rifle that was not properly registered. So that's why he has a federal hold on himself.
Simpson now sits in a jail on a $3 million bond as more damning information continues to surface on Suzanne's husband of 22 years. Police revealing that in the days after her disappearance, Brad texted his business partner, James Valle Cotter. "If you're in Bandera, can you haul to meet me at your house? I don't have much time." Then, a minute or so later, he adds, "Sorry for the urgency, but you're all I got, especially now. Social media is destroying me."
Police were able to piece together the fact that apparently where Brad housed his guns, it was in a room, and they noticed there was a missing gun in that gun room. That gun was found in Mr. Cotter's home, behind the TV in a secret compartment.
Cotter is charged with tampering with evidence along with possession of prohibited weapons, both felonies. Now in a holding cell, his bond was set at $1 million.
We are devastated by the loss of my sister.
The critical search to find Suzanne's remains is still on. Her sister Teresa offers the family's thanks to the volunteers and authorities who continue to tirelessly work to find her.
We will not stop until we find her.
We'll be monitoring this case closely and bring you the latest right here and on truecrimenews.com. Coming up, a beautiful model married to an R&B star is brutally murdered. What really happened to Catherine Martinez?
She said, "Bye, Mom." She was saying goodbye, but she didn't realize what she was saying.
Russell Neal rose to fame in the 90s R&B group High Five, but when the former boy bander's wife is brutally murdered, he finds himself back in the spotlight, but for all the wrong reasons. He found fame in the music industry as a member of the 90s boy band High Five, but Russell Neal's life came crashing down hard.
Mr. Neal? Yes, sir.
Russell landed in a police precinct for killing Catherine Martinez, his beautiful wife and the mother of his two sons.
What's going on? Why are you here?
Well, my wife and I got into an altercation. She attacked me, and she's deceased. And that's pretty much the fullness of my statement.
Okay,
Until I'm able to speak with an attorney.
Okay.
In this rarely seen interrogation tape from the Harris County DA in Texas, Russell quickly lawyered up. Then the interview came to an abrupt halt, but Catherine's friends and family had plenty to say.
She was beaten and stabbed.
She was murdered.
At 18 years old, Catherine was a model with big dreams.
She was very ambitious. She was very fun, energetic, and honest.
It doesn't matter how hard she had to fight to do it, it would get done.
The stunning Texas girl had the looks, the energy, and the infectious drive to be in the public eye.
She was actually a fitness trainer, she was modeling, and then she was training to try to become a boxer, a female boxer.
That same year, Catherine was swooped up by then 30-year-old record producer Russell Neal. The two moved in, and Catherine built her greatest hopes on her life with Russell and their two sons.
She was always around them, made sure everything was okay. She was made sure that a plate of food for them that was never missing.
Abundance appeared to flow.
She used to brag about him at first. Oh, he got all this money and he's saying this and he's so cool.
In the early 90s, Russell Neal was a part of the quintet High Five, a national phenomenon, scoring top 10 hits including I Like the Way.
They were awesome. It was just an amazing group. You know, young teenagers having a great time.
And Russell was the dreamy one.
He was cool Russ. He was the one who always was able to control his temper.
The record company promoted the 16-year-old as a heartthrob.
They want a few that's looking for love.
But Russell felt High Five was holding him back.
Russell decided that he wanted to have more of a singing part, but the labels and the producer didn't think that that was an appropriate decision to make.
He walked, but he would never achieve the same success.
Russell did not have a solid footing on where he was going to take his life at that particular time.
Nearly 20 years later, Russell met Catherine, the stunning beauty nearly half his age.
That's where everything changed. Everything changed in our life.
Russell's past in the spotlight dazzled Catherine.
To her, it was everything.
Yeah.
Because he was popular back in the day, but I kept telling her he ain't popular no more.
And turned out he was actually broke. Catherine soon became the breadwinner.
Using her money, he just, you know, she was the moneymaker for him.
And Catherine's family soon noticed money was the least of their problems.
There were bruises and scratches, and she would try to cover it up with makeup, but we would tell.
Eventually, any illusion of fame and fortune wore thin, and reality stepped in. Catherine left.
She was ready to, do her own life by herself with her 2 kids.
Happy Mother's Day!
But just when everything seemed back on track for Catherine to find happiness and herself,
when she left that day, she said, "Bye, Mom." It was kind of like when you turn the light off. Like, she was saying goodbye, but she didn't realize what she was saying.
no one knew they would never see the beautiful 24-year-old mom again. When we come back, Russell pleads insanity. Will it work? And a deadly connection is revealed.
I can't believe this has happened again in the same family.
We're back with the murder of Catherine Martinez. Her husband, Russell Neal, a former member of the R&B group High Five, admitted to killing her. But that's not where this story ends. He is about to turn the case on its head, and his connection to another killer raises even more questions. Catherine Martinez had been missing for 2 days until Russell Neal showed up at a Houston police station to reveal he killed his wife in cold blood.
He just kept saying they got in a fight and that she might need medical attention.
Paramedics race to the apartment that Catherine shared with her 2 young sons. They find a nightmare.
She was beaten and stabbed.
Newly released crime scene photos show Catherine had been bashed with a blunt object and stabbed multiple times with a sharp object. Her beauty left unrecognizable.
I was just hoping they had the wrong person because it didn't look like her.
It was overkill.
It was overkill.
Tragically, family members say Catherine's little boys were there, locked in a room just feet away from where she was killed.
They were there when it happened.
And I believe one of them walked out because he talks about it. He has
nightmares.
Yes. He said Dad had blood on his shoes, and Dad told him it was ketchup.
Russell turns himself in, but soon refuses to talk without a lawyer.
I'm going to read you your rights.
Okay.
You have the right to remain silent.
He's charged with first-degree murder and released on a $100,000 bond. But 2 months later, the case takes a bizarre twist. Russell's bond is revoked after the singer tells his bail bondsman his new name is Jesus Christ.
He's trying to play crazy.
Neal is committed to a mental hospital where doctors declare him mentally ill and incompetent to stand trial. But Catherine's family says he's crazy like a fox.
You sat there with her for 2 days to make sure her life was gone. And then you decided to turn yourself in. So you're not incompetent, you're not crazy, you know exactly what you did.
Prosecutors refuse to drop the murder charge. Neal is ordered to continue treatment and return to court for another competency hearing.
He's not crazy. No. He's not. She's gonna get justice.
While Catherine's heartbroken family grieved, they wondered, could they have seen this coming?
We don't hear many good things about that family as a whole.
Turns out Russell's case was eerily similar to his younger brother Ronald's murder rap and the death of his partner and mother of 2, Stevani McGee.
Everybody knew Stevani. She was very popular because she was so pretty.
At 29, she settled down with Ronald, her junior high school sweetheart.
You know, he thought he was more than what he was, you know, because his brother was, you know, a part of, you know, High Five.
But months into the marriage, there were problems, and the same old patterns repeated.
He would jump on her and lock her up in the closet and whip her with a belt. Yeah, she was done at that point. When he found out that she had filed for divorce, and he said, yeah, this divorce ain't gonna be easy.
Ronald made good on his promise, this time with a call to 911.
The police are there now. My stepdad, he broke into my mom's house.
It's from Stevani's 10-year-old son after his mother is dragged into the bedroom.
My mom said, please, Ronald, don't hurt me. She's screaming louder. I hear our mama trying to get out the room. She's banging on her door and she's screaming loud.
Then the call cuts out on a terrifying note.
Hello?
Ronald barricades himself inside. For more than 2 hours, hostage negotiators try to get Ronald to surrender. But he puts them off, saying, give me a few more minutes and let me get dressed.
That was his whole plan the entire time, was to sit there and let her bleed out.
When the SWAT team rushes in, tragically, it's too late.
I asked, could I see her? And they said no, because it was a crime scene. And I told her I had to see my baby, but I couldn't see her.
Russell Neal was arrested for murder. The heartless gunman wants to talk to his mom.
We know you're sorry. We're praying for you. But you're not in this alone, okay?
Okay.
But those tears aren't for Stevani. In fact, Ronald acts surprised that his wife is dead.
You're being charged with, for right now, murder.
Murder?
Yes.
She didn't die from this?
Yes, she did.
Ronald claims insanity. But before the mental illness defense can be tested in court, he pleads guilty.
The judge gave him 80 years, and, you know, in Texas, that's basically the equivalent to a life sentence.
For Catherine's family, it all left one question. Was Ronald's case a blueprint for murder for his brother Russell, who in the end also confessed to killing the mother of his 2 kids 6 years later?
I can't believe this has happened again in the same family.
Russell held on to his own insanity defense, and the former pop singer sensation was eventually found unfit to stand trial by reason of insanity, a decision that left 2 grieving families to pick up the pieces while sharing words of warning about domestic violence.
Just listen and be there for your family. Pay close attention. Don't ignore it. Get them out of there before you end up like us. Please.
Russell Neal is reportedly still in a state hospital in Texas. We'll be right back. On the next True Crime News.
I'm so glad you could join us on our last voyage on Well Deserved.
A final cruise turns deadly.
It was the nightmare of nightmares.
A yacht returns without its owners, leaving cryptic clues.
And on this receipt were bleach cleaning supplies, heavy-duty trash bags, and Tums.
This case was uniquely diabolical.
The secret SOS that could crack this case.
She wanted to send a signal to somebody in the future that something here is not right.
On the next True Crime News. One more thing before we go. An update on the Menendez brothers' bid for release. The Los Angeles DA is now recommending the governor grant them clemency. It's the 3rd pathway to release for the brothers. The other 2, resentencing that would require approval by a parole board and the governor. A 3rd, a hearing to introduce new evidence that could lead to a change in their conviction. By California law, Governor Newsom can't render a decision until November 7th. We'll continue to bring you the latest here and on TrueCrimeNews.com. That's it for today's True Crime News. I'm Anna Garcia. See you next time, everyone. Crime never stops. Neither do we.